Dave, I just think there's a moral hazard doing this. You're young,
absolutely.
You signed a financial contract. You have an obligation to pay that money back.
Absolutely. And well, listen, there's some situations where folks are hurting, and this thing has it's gotten completely out of hand.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people's lives who have been destroyed by this program. Somebody needs some relief somewhere. I'm fine with that. But this has nothing to do with really helping people. This is a political gimme by progressives.
None of that makes any sense. None of that makes any sense. So, it's a moral hazard because you signed on to it, so you have to pay it. Okay, should they have had to sign on to it, to something that fundamentally could crush them in debt for the rest of their life? And by the way, what if they hadn't signed on to it? What would have happened? No. They couldn't have gone to school. And the Fox host is saying he is perfectly fine with not helping out people who signed it and leaving us with a country full of people that, if they're not born into wealth, if they're not a Swanson heir, well then screw you. You don't get to go to college. And if you do, we're never gonna help you. And if you're crushed for the rest of your life, hey buddy, you signed on to it. You signed on to an incredibly unfair system.
The moral hazard is creating this whole cycle in the first place, where you give you mandate essentially, just de facto, there's a mandate that you need to have a college education. A high school diploma isn't enough anymore. And then you get people these student loans, which are either federally backed or private. Either way, it essentially increases the number of people who have access to money to do what? To give it to schools. Those schools run up their tuition because now there is money coming in. So the moral hazard is the growing cost of undergraduate and graduate education in the country. And that's something that we need to fix. And that's why folks are eyeing free college, not free college, but tax funded college for 2-year education, 2-year junior college education, and maybe 4-year college education in certain places. But that's the moral problem with it. That's what's so frustrating about what he's saying.
Yeah, and then for Dave Ramsey to end by saying, people's lives have been ruined by this program that the Fox host is totally defending and thinks shouldn't be changed. And they really do need help, but not like this. Well, it's just a political thing. But then what? Then what are you proposing? You say they have to be helped. They're being victimized by the program. This would help them, but suspiciously you're not interested. And why not? Because it's just political. Well, it is a political program. That is what we're talking about here. It's gonna be political. He can't come up with an actual reason. It's like, what a great scam. I really think people should need to be helped, but not in any of those ways that group is proposing. I'm with the people who propose doing literally nothing. It's like, you can say you want help, but there's no evidence that that's actually true.
And then it's worth saying that this whole argument that y'all signed on to a contract, and if it bankrupts you, it bankrupts you. Well, what happened to the big banks in the 2008 crisis? They got bailed out. So why don't we bail out the American people who, I hate to break it to Dave Ramsey, when they have money in their pocket, they'll spend it on the stuff that they're not buying right now because they can't afford it. Like food, like medicine.
Perhaps rent. And like Red Artifact says in the Twitch chat, and by the way, if you avoid the moral hazard by not signing that and not going to college, what is Fox gonna say about you later on when you are suffering, when you can't get ahead?
Right.
Well, you should have tried harder. You should lift yourself up, go to college, get an education.
And that's it. It's all that they want to have it. They want to have it always at all times. It's like the folks who raided the Capitol who are conservatives and they say, listen, it's all about, if you ask them every other day of the week, what is it about? Oh, it's all about taking personal responsibility for your actions. And the people who don't do that are letting us down, those collective handout takers. Yeah. But then you ask them now in a court of law, so why did you raid the Capitol? And they're like, well, the president made me do it. I am powerless. I have no individual decision-making power. It's all his fault. So which is it? So frustrating.
Eckhart in the chat has an interesting theory that Dave Ramsey doesn't want the debt canceled because his radio program gets its ratings by helping people take responsibility and pay off their debt.
I mean, there's so many. Those shows also have like debt consolidation services that they that is nonstop. That's probably like 1/5 of the advertising on a show like that, when they're not telling you how to like, Australian dream, alleviate your psoriatic back pain or something.
Exactly.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.